Joining me on location at Central City Brewery is Canadian recording artist Melanie Dekker. The roots pop singer has opened for Bryan Adams, Faith Hill, and Diana Krall, to name a few. And she's here today to talk about her music and what is next for her. Welcome to the closing act, Melanie.
Thank you.
I love your album.
I didn't know you heard it already.
Well, I haven't heard it yet, but I love it holding in my hands. So, how did your passion for music begin?
I was wondering what you were going to ask me today. It started off with being jealous that my brother could play guitar. He could play a little bit of guitar, play the song, "What Can We Do with a Drunken Sailor?" And I had to kind of wait my turn. So there was a bit of a sibling kind of rivalry there. And then I heard a girl in high school play for the whole school. I was in grade 8, she was in grade 12. And it just moved me. I just wanted to do what she was doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't start super young. Perhaps I always liked music. I know that my parents told me I played a little harmonica at 3 years old, but whether that was inspired by the need to do music or not, I don't know.
But that sibling rivalry inspired you.
It did. And now my brother wishes he could do what I do.
But he's inspired by you now.
That's right.
And so with where do you find your inspiration to write, Melanie?
I usually find it beneath my feet. It's usually when I'm walking and it
running.
comes, yeah, I do quite a fair bit of running. And while I'm doing that, I think about what I'd like to say. And I usually have a rhythm because of the walking. And I know how to play a guitar and sing. And so usually after some emotional experiences combined with just getting outside, I come up with the songs that way.
Right, and
yeah.
What do you want people who listen to your music, what do you want them to get from it?
Oh, that's a good question. I always feel like it's a little more personal, like I just know what I get out of it. I like them to feel a sense of connection. So with each other, not necessarily with me, but if I'm the conduit to that, that's great. Yeah.
So, now, when was your first album?
1997.
1997.
Yeah, so that was a full body of work, pressed with a CD, and that was called Impulsive, because I had heard Sheryl Crow's first album, I think it was, Tuesday Night Music Club, and I wanted to try that. So I wrote with an amazing writer named John Rolls, a local guy, and we got together every week and kind of like they did, right? Read the story and wanted to copy that and see if we could come up with a project, and we did. So I'm proud of that one, but it still feels like the beginning,
And you can look back on it, and this is how far you've come. And now, how many albums do you have?
I haven't counted. No, what that means is I have live recordings and live albums, and some were real short runs, like just from one live show we would print 100. So is that considered an album? I'm not sure. I'm sure if Wikipedia would count those as albums, there's probably at least 10.
Wow. And you just keep going.
It's about it seems to be every 3 years. Every 3 years I feel ready for a new body of work.
I mean, how do you know? Like, it's just...
I play live a lot. So it's not that I get sick of the music, it's just more I have new experiences, and now I want to turn those new experiences into songs.
Right, and you perform a lot live.
Right.
And so do you like performing live a lot or recording in studio, or is there a different...
I guess if you had to take one away, I love live performance. I just love watching people connect, and with music again, and with each other. But my favorite part of the process is the writing.
The writing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come overnight, right? It's a process. It doesn't come
overnight. It is a process, and sometimes it happens overnight. So a little bit like training. Sometimes you can training for anything, but you're a runner. So do you learn how to run a marathon overnight? No, but could you run a long distance tomorrow morning when you woke up? You probably could because you've done it for long enough. So there's a little bit of that. Sometimes the magic is in waking up in the middle of the night and going, I got it. And sometimes the songs that take the longest aren't your favorite for whatever reason.
I mean, can I ask you, do you have a favorite song or?
I do, but they move around. So perhaps it's the female in me. I like the songs that tend to reach people on the first listen, because that's tough to do. It's like, I wrote this, I'm gonna play this for you, you've never heard it, and now I really want you to like it, right? So you haven't had time to live with that song, and you'll probably maybe find something else on one of my records, and you think, no, that's my favorite. And that's inevitable, but somehow the challenge of writing a song that's kind of catchy right from the beginning, whether it's the melody or the story or the mood. Often my slow songs are the most impactful live, and yet my concert's not slow. So yeah, it's a little bit of this, right?
Yes, and you perform in Germany, and what's it like to travel a lot?
It's almost become the norm for me. So I just want to play a concert and then play a concert again the next night and the next night and the next night, and you can either do that in a steady fashion like in Vegas or in a metropolis like Vancouver, or you have to go from town to town to town to town and hit different populations. And what's it like? I sing in English. Some things are challenging, like contracts, and because they're not necessarily in English. Google Translate, of course, can be your friend, but it's perhaps not the best. It's not, excellent at it. The logistics are the hardest part of touring. So how are you going to get there? When are you going to get there? How are you going to travel? Who's going to come with you? What do you guys want to eat? Where are you going to eat? And before you know it, the day's gone. So I try and do as much planning before, and I mean 4 or 5 months of planning before I go. And that's with an agent and with the road manager and with a really small crew. So in other words, I'm kind of leading everything myself, but I have a lot of help, and it still takes that much time to get it. Hotels, flights, arrivals, right?
Right.
And keeping people's mood as steady and good as possible is really important. So without logistics, guess what? People get pretty grumpy. Right?
And that's important. And you are following your passion.
The music's kind of the easy part by the time you get on tour.
Yes.
So.
But no one sees that all the work behind.
No, and I wouldn't want them to. It would take away from the rock stardom of it. No, I just wake up, roll over, go on tour.
But I said you are following your passion. And what was it like to open for Bryan Adams and Faith Hill?
Again, the music's kind of the easy part. Putting your nerves at bay. How do you do that? How do you find a way to do that? For me, it's get outside and really know what I'm going to do at the show, and know that there's always room for some sort of spontaneity, because I like to know that perhaps between these songs I don't know what I'm going to say yet, but I have a good idea. So my shows are perhaps they should be more scripted, but because I enjoy the spontaneity of maybe leaving some of that open. Like 80% of my show is laid out, and the rest is like, let's just see how I feel that day. And my musicians know me well enough that, I'm not going to pull something out of the hat where they're like, I don't really know that one. It's like, oh yeah, okay, she's doing that thing or what have you. And for me, that I have the magic, and I don't feel nervous. Like, oh, what will 10, 20, 30,000 people think if I do that? That being said, I can't be too talkative on a big stage. So there's some things I pull back on a big stage, funny enough. It's because you feel larger than life. But the things that I do for a smaller audience, they would get lost in a big crowd in a way, right? And also because I'm opening for a show, I'm not saying that people didn't come to hear me, but they didn't come to hear me.
Right.
So it's a little bit like, hey, here you go. This next show is going to be really awesome. And in the meantime, while I've got your attention for half an hour, here's a body of music that I hope you'll like too. So if somebody else has decided that's a good match, whether it's the Diana Krall or Faith Hill or Bryan Adams. So I don't have nerves when it comes to the music.
Because you love it.
Yeah.
And you have that, you're inspiring others and there's a message, right, for music, right, that
right.
people feel good about. And
right. But they like it or they don't like it. Right? And somewhere around maybe the first 10 years of making music, I thought, well, I can't control whether they like it or not. I want them to like it. Like, you're not going to spend all day on Christmas dinner and think, I don't care if they like it. You want them to like it because you spent time on it and feel like it's been crafted. But not everyone is going to like it. And as soon as you accept that, it's more fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I was holding it earlier. This is your latest album, The Secret Spot.
Mm-hmm.
And so tell us about the album.
I recorded this in British Columbia. The significance of that, I recorded most of my music here in BC, in Vancouver. But the significance this time was that Creative BC sponsored it, per se. It was a grant. It was offered to a lot of musicians last year to get the business in studios, really just push the business up again. In the studio world of Vancouver, we have some of the best studios in the world. And in order to keep those busy, you need musicians willing to spend the money on those studios and not record at home. So getting out of the house and recording in a real studio, financially, musicians think, well, maybe I'll just do it at home, right? Maybe I'll just make coffee at home. How do you get them to go out and still spend the money on a coffee outside of the home when you can do it all at home now? And Creative BC created this grant, so they, together with the government of British Columbia, sponsored that. So I thought, okay, now's a good time to make music. And I worked with a wonderful producer who I'd wanted to work with for years, and his name's Sheldon Zaharko. And I had already worked with great musicians in Vancouver, so I was able to actually bring about 24 musicians into the project.
Wow.
Because I had more finances, the boost, right? The financial support. Because I'd already been playing a lot of those songs live already. So it was like, okay, I'm ready. Let's stamp this down and make it. And we also made a vinyl one. It takes 3 months to get vinyl.
3 months.
This takes about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So anxiously waiting for that as well.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks.
And all the songs on this album is written by you?
Except for one, Secret Spot.
And?
So Alan Roger wrote that, and I know you've met him because I've seen
Yes.
previous programs, and he has been touring over 200 shows with me and has never said to me, hey, maybe you'd like this tune, until he played Secret Spot for me. And I said, not only do I like the song, I'd like to use it for the title of my record. And it doesn't mean it's a title track. That's sort of a different thing, but it just fits. And it's about running through the woods and bringing your friend into that place that you think that nobody else knows about. So that, for me, that's a little bit like how and where I make music. Like, come on, come check this out. And it just fit with, it helped us, all the songs make sense on that record. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And what is next for you, Melanie?
What's next? I'm making music. Am I doing anything different with it? Yes, I'm trying to play more piano, more ukulele, more banjo. Yeah, well, it's kind of a trendy thing right now, but
Banjo.
it's a lot easier than guitar, actually, ukulele. But you want to try something harder, banjo's harder. So I'm bringing, my electric guitar has been collecting dust for about 20 years, so I pulled that out on the vinyl version of this record, and yeah, I'm just exploring the instruments again. You put them away because you get touring and you think, oh, my guitar works great. Let's do this thing. I play slow songs on the piano, but I'm re-inspired by all these instruments, and I'm enjoying that.
That's wonderful. And when are you going to be performing next in Vancouver?
It's my favorite question and my least favorite question. So I have started playing at the Gerard Lounge, and that's in the Sutton Place Hotel, and I play there on Sunday nights. But I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be doing that. So that is a secret spot that you might see me at, playing live. Big shows planned are going to be up in the Okanagan, so I can't give you an exact date other than to let you know that that's where I usually hang out on Sundays, and my guitar is usually with me.
But we can check on Facebook though.
You can,
follow.
and on my website, and I think even, the concert listings are everywhere.
Yes.
And we're not planning further ahead than October at the moment.
Well,
There'll be a Christmas show in Vancouver.
Oh,
if
wonderful.
That's fair.
That's wonderful. And again, congratulations on your latest album.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you very much for coming on the show, Melanie, and like to have you come back.
Thanks. I would love to come back. This nice long table at Central City.
Thank you. And we'll be right back after this break.
The way you open a CD before the artist gets here is like this, and this, and the booklet, and that helps you see whether or not there's a CD inside. And there it is, little secret spot CD. And then the designer, who is Len Rooney, is also a fabulous painter, but he's just awesome at joining colors. And this is all Granville Island. We wanted it to look local as well.
Beautiful.
So this one's yours.
Thank you.
Do you have a CD player still? Or?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And what intrigues me the most is the song Front Row. Can you tell us about that?
Song number 2. Song number 2 was the last song written for the record. And I like spontaneity, and one night on tour, I noticed that I could almost name everyone that I could see in the front row. And I was so charmed by it, and basically almost brings me to tears. We're like, oh my God, this is awesome. Which means they've all been to a concert before. I've met them backstage or before or after the concert. And I thought, right now I'd like to write a song on the spot. So I scribbled down the names so I wouldn't stumble as I was writing it, singing it. And then I called it Front Row. And I had a melody in my head and 3 chords, 3 nice, easy chords. So I didn't have to think about the music, and made up more or less that song on the spot. Later on, of course, I took everyone's names out, and it's a little more palatable for everyone else. And so that song is about fanship in a way, and it's about that when you get off the couch and you decide to do something, you're like, okay, I'm doing it, and then you do it, and then you got a friend on the other end, come on, let's do it, let's hit the road, or let's go to that show. And so it has that feeling, like that good, let's buy tickets to the front row, baby.
Wow.
And it's just, let's go and let's be there, and then we're gonna have so much fun. And so that's what I tried to capture in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So Front Rows, it was a really exciting song to have come together because it came to me live.
Joining me is a special guest, Maestro Fresh Wes. He's a Canadian hip-hop recording artist. He's a 2-time Juno Award winner. He's an actor, author, and motivational speaker, and he's here today to talk about his successful career. Welcome back to Vancouver.
Thanks for having me. I love Vancouver. This is the fresh coast. You know what I'm saying?
You love Vancouver. You lived here for 4 years, right?
Yeah.
So, but you're here this weekend for the Junos.
That's right. I got nominated for Best Rap Recording of the Year, so I'm excited about that, to still be doing music and people still appreciating me, and I appreciate being appreciated.
Yes, and your album is Coach Fresh.
That's correct, yep.
And it's 13 track songs.
Yeah, yep.
And I love the song Coach Fresh.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
it's paying homage to the coaches, right?
Exactly. Thank you.
So
Really
tell
appreciate
us the viewers about the song, like some of the prominent figures, sports figures.
Well, Coach Fresh, I'm obviously a fan of sports, you know what I'm saying? And that's the metaphor for, me being a hip-hop artist. So I just kind of infused the two together, music and sports. And the 2 sports I chose was NFL, which was the first verse, and then the second verse was NBA. So in terms of the coaches in NFL, I mentioned like Don Shula, Mike Tomlin, Tom Coughlin, Patriots coach, you know what I'm saying? He got mentioned, you know, just different coaches. I use that as the metaphor with hip hop, is where I'm like a coach in my own right type thing.
Yes, and my understanding, you played football?
Yeah, I just play. I'm more of I was my son's coach for his football team. So one of the kids called me Coach Fresh one day, and it kind of stuck with me. So
yes, and I also like the song "Get Your Guard Up."
Put your guard up. Yeah.
And I like the lyrics. Like it gives a message to the youth.
Thank you.
And you are the pioneer of rap music.
I'm one of them, yeah. In Canada, yeah.
The godfather as well.
Well, I'd rather be the godfather than the grandfather, so I'm getting
That's
some
wonderful.
love.
I love your book, Stick to Your Vision.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a song that came out.
Yeah.
And what inspired you to write the book?
What inspired me to write the book was a lot of people told me throughout the years that I've inspired them. So kind of like, you know, my community inspired me to write the book, based on a lot of people telling me that I've done something or said something throughout their lives that inspired and motivated them. So.
Right, and
cool.
you know, Maestro, I've watched your TED speech talk, and it talked about being inspired, and you also talked about these eyes.
Yeah.
And
Well, These Eyes I had a song called Stick to Your Vision, which I sampled the song These Eyes from the Guess Who. I mean, that song came out in the 70s, and then my song came out in the 90s, and now my book in 2010 came out, and now in 2017. I just received an honorary diploma, and the book is a part of the school curriculum in Halifax. So to me, that's a blessing right there. The foundation was hip hop, and you know, a lot of people have misconceptions about the genre of music, but I try to take it to the next level.
Yes, and you know, also too, like Maestro Fresh Wes, you got the name from walking by a tuxedo store.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really cool. And your father took a photo of you.
No, my father took the album cover.
Yes.
He shot the album cover, yeah.
So what, and the first Juno you got was in 1991, right? That your Backbone Slide.
No.
That was the...
Nah, the album Symphony in Effect was the album that received the first Juno award, and basically because of me is the reason why there's a category for that. That was for the inaugural year, so it's been a blessing to see me back in Vancouver again. This is happening again where I'm nominated again, so that's cool.
Yeah, so you were nominated for 13 Junos, right?
Yeah.
13 Junos, that's awesome. But I like to get back to stick to your vision, and I like a voice kept saying, stick to your vision. I see a lot of highs and lows. I see my name in lights. Sometimes I fell. That sends a great message for the youth, but for everyone in general. Stick to your vision, never give up. Yes, and Maestro, what's next for you?
Well, I did a new TEDx that's coming out soon. I'm season 8 of Mr. D, which we start filming very soon as a TV series that I'm on with CBC. I played a school teacher, but now I'm the vice principal. So we'll see what they have planned for me in season number 8. I also got a brand new TED Talks I just mentioned, and I also got a new series called In Contempt, which is a legal drama on BET, and that premieres April 10th. So I'm doing some stuff.
That's wonderful. And Maestro, you also play in a series for CBC, Mr. D.
Yep.
And that's wonderful.
Yep.
And so what else are you planning to do in Vancouver, if I can ask you? You're here for the Junos, right?
Yeah.
What do you like to do here?
Well, I'm on to sleep. I got to catch some sleep, man, you know. But, you know, I'll do the 2 events and hit a couple parties, and I'll see some friends of mine. I got some friends to see over here, too, as well.
That's wonderful. And I want to thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And all the best.
Okay.
And, yes.
We take it from there. All right, peace.
Yes, peace.